What's up, guys? Today we have a 2018 Honda Shadow Phantom, and we're going to be showing you how to install the Viking Warrior bags onto this Shadow. I do believe all the Shadows are about the same. I can't vouch for the older years, but I know the newer Shadow Phantom, Shadow Arrow, whatever you got that is newer, they should be about the same. So we're going to jump right into this, show you what you need, what you got to do to install it, and hopefully this will help you guys install your own and not have many questions. So let's get into this. All right, so the tools that you're going to need for this, you're going to need a 15mm ratchet or wrench, whichever. You're going to need a drill, and then when it comes to these parts, so you have this little metal bracket, it'll come with washers. You're going to need like kind of a thick washer, relatively medium-sized washer, and then I only have a tape measure because I'm going to measure these bolts for you guys. So the bolts that I'm using, these are 3.5 inch. I think it comes with a larger and a smaller. It's been about a couple years since I've done this, but these are the bolts that I've had in there since, so this is what you'll most likely be using. I also have a sissy bar here, but you won't really need to worry about that as long as the bolts go through. So what I did in order to get these on is I used the second hole. You'll have to come in here and move this. But if you use the second hole in there, you can go ahead and you'll get the first part of the saddlebag up. So here's what you'll need to do. So if you're looking at the back of the saddlebag, it's going to look something like this once you get the bracket on. So you have the larger washer, then obviously the frame that's going to kind of support that, and then you have a smaller washer. So this is going to go into your back hole, and that way once you get it up in there, what I actually did was I went ahead and put this bolt, and I put it all the way in, and I put it all the way in, and then that way I just have the head sticking out. And once I got this bolt in, you can kind of maneuver this. You can actually maneuver this around, and with this bolt sitting wherever it needs to be, you can level this, and then you can kind of push it into the bag, and that'll give you a mark of where you need to go. Then you can take this bag off, and then you can drill the hole that you need in order to get this bolt through. So as you can see here, first you get the bolt through, kind of what you need to do, and then this part of the bracket, you can actually feed it through like you normally would as if you were mounting it. So you're going to want to put that bolt in first because you're going to want to know exactly where that's going to be at, and then this will sit normally once you put it in correctly. So I've got the back bolt in now. It's actually not all the way tight, but it is mostly there, so you can kind of get the gist. So this front one is not in. So what you would do is, obviously that's not straight, so what you would do is you kind of pick it up, get it wherever straight is for you, and then what you can do is either put like a little dab of paint or something or whatever can leave a mark, or what I did was I got it lined up where I needed it to be when I had it, and I pushed it like really hard, and it left an indent, and I was able to tell where I needed to drill my hole. So once you drill your hole, that'll be where your level mark is, obviously if you have it set up correctly. So then that way you can get it to be level and you have your two bolts flush. So that is how I did it. Obviously I'll get this all put back together entirely and then we can go through it again, but this should help you a little bit better. So at this point, this is where you would drill your hole. Obviously this is where mine is right here. I've already got my bolt fed through it. And as you can see here, this is where the second hole is, so bolt goes through that. That is the hole you had to make and drill. And so now you would just put it up normally. You know, you'd go ahead, you'd get your bracket, and you'd feed your bolts through like normal. So once we get that put on regularly, we'll go back to finished product. So now that you have the two bolts back in, well, actually in the first time, and you should have them, large bolt in the back, frame, large washer, small washer in the front, same thing on both sides, and then you just you know, have your 2 bolts in there, both back and front, the one that you created yourself. You can add washers if you want. Mine has been sitting in there without a washer for the last 4 years, so it's been perfectly fine. There is an option for a strap somehow, but that little bit of wiggle doesn't really affect anything, honestly. As long as the frame is holding it from hitting your bike, you're good. It will wiggle a little bit, but when you're riding, it's not even noticeable. You can't even tell. But that is the Viking Warrior bags. As you can see, they do give you some clearance here. I got about a finger width, but I think you might be able to fit large on there, but it might be really tight. So that'll definitely be an issue sometimes. And then here, if you have a passenger, their legs will have to kind of rest on the edge of the bag. My wife does it. She doesn't mind it. It's totally an option for you guys. Doesn't really matter if you're riding solo or not. So that is the Viking Warrior bags, and hope this helps install it for you guys, and hope you're having a great day.